Irving?
How you doing?
Man, good to be alive. Good to be in your presence, brother. How about yourself? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Just been literally swamped and been all over the place. Just a lot going on. You know what I mean?
Listen. See, and that makes me all the more grateful that you decided to take the time to have a conversation with me, brother. I appreciate that, man.
No problem. You know
I'm gonna try my best. Huh? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Please.
No, it's all good.
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna try my best to keep it together, man, because it's like the things that you put out and your creativity, it caters to a lot of us, man, in terms of just we grew up in the era of Voltron, Tranzor Z, Ninja Scroll, Macron 1, 8-Man, things like that, and seeing what you do and how you put your creativity to work is bringing things like that to life. Unbeknownst to a lot of people, a lot of what's going on in Hollywood with entertainment, with them doing the Marvel films and that, it's brothers like yourself that are the true masterminds behind it, because those people that are adults now were once children. They were once, you know what I mean? And they did something with it, and you're doing something with it as well. So all that being the case, what film or what anime was the thing that grabbed your attention and made you want to get on the path that you are now on?
I guess when I started as a kid,
okay,
I probably want to say either Pokemon or Gundam as a kid. Okay. Those are like the first animes I got exposed to. That was just like, yo, this is hard. You know what I mean? And then but like the career path, realistically, it was more a movie. I don't think I should have watched it, but it was like my mom didn't know, I didn't know better. Like we just didn't care. My mom didn't really care, but she put on Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh man,
that's what kind of like triggered a lot of like. I think Beverly Hills Cop came out in the 80s. I don't know. Yeah, so I was around that time. But I saw that movie and it kind of like sparked a lot of like things for me to be like, okay, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But how? You know what I mean? Okay. So it was more like the movie that kind of like sparked a lot of things, and then kind of like cartoons that kind of inspired me, that kind of like pushed me to elevate or anime. You know what I mean?
Okay. Can you think of what was it about Beverly Hills Cop in particular that caught your attention?
It was just, I don't know what it was. I actually don't know what it was. It was just like, there's small things I picked up as a child. I think I was like 4. Okay. And I'm like, I just was gravitated towards Eddie Murphy. I don't know what it was. I think the other movie that Eddie Murphy was in was Coming to America. That the barber scene was the one I was just like, I'm like, that's the most craziest thing, because that's all him. Well, him and Arsenio and all that stuff. So I'm like, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like to do different characters. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Okay. Now with your acting, because I'm a creative myself as well, not on your level, but a creative nonetheless. And I've done things acting wise, but I haven't been trained in acting. I write. I haven't been trained in writing. I direct, and I haven't been educated formally as it relates to directing. Have you had education in any of those, or are you doing a similar? Am I doing similar to how you're doing it?
We're doing the same thing.
Okay.
I never. I think I went to. The only thing I had was I did a school play as a kid. I did school play, but I had zero training or anything like that. I literally would just look at people's scenes and I would literally mimic it in front of a mirror.
Okay, nice. When I spoke to the Flying Hawaiian, he said something similar to mimicking things or mirroring things, and I told him that he's like Taskmaster. So that makes 2 of you guys then that have that characteristic, the Taskmaster, being able to look at something and be able to create. Man, that's a beautiful thing. And what this says to me is that what it is that you do and what it is that I'm aspiring to do as well. It's all love, man. Love to motivate you to do these things, you know, to be able to create these things, you know. And it starts, it's real cool when you think about it, Irving, because it's like when we were kids coming up, you know, cats that weren't off into the mainstream things that were popular, you know, we were kind of made fun of, you know what I mean? But if you look at now and the trajectory of how things are going, it's like, man, it's the world is at our fingertips when it comes to, you know, creationally and what it is that people are consuming visually, you know?
Right. No, that's facts.
Man. So, okay, you named off Pokemon initially, so that I would think that would be one of your top 3. What would your other 2 be?
Oh, my top, I guess, animes that like I fell in love with, honestly. Okay. So, because I always give Pokemon a credit because like that took me to a place that like, you know, because you know the area I grew up, it kind of like my escape, you know what I mean? So like Pokemon like took me to like a place that I was like, okay, this is dope, you know what I mean? And then playing the games was just like, you know, top tier for me. It was that Gundam.
Nice.
Obviously Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball Z, you know, has its like own like special category.
Right. I read the mangas before it became an anime. It was Naruto and One Piece.
Okay. Naruto and One Piece was like the 2 mangas I read before it became an anime, and I was just like, oh, say less, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I would say Naruto and One Piece, and then I want to say Sailor Moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you? Now let's flip that. What is your favorite film genre? Live action.
So like my favorite film genres, honestly, I like action, but I like, you know, movies that are like such as like, you know, Rush Hour, like the Rush Hour series. I love stuff like that. I like the Ocean series a lot. Okay. I do. Like I love stuff that's like that makes you like, dang, I did not catch that, and it makes you rewatch it. Like I like stuff like that. Like almost like it's almost like a Where's Waldo effect. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not paying attention, you're not paying attention. You know what I mean? You got to really pay attention, like minor details. Like Inception, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Like Pilgrim versus the World is probably like the most underrated movie. Like if it would have came out right now, how anime culture is now, it'd probably be one of the top 2. Like literally, it'd be probably the number 1 movie like in America for sure.
Okay. Interesting. Now, being that you've created some of the things you've created, are you a martial artist?
Nope.
No.
Really? I wrestled and I boxed.
Okay.
I wrestled. Oh yeah, no.
Okay, well, brother, I submit to you, boxing is a martial art. Now, don't sleep. You know what I mean?
I box and I wrestle.
Okay. Do you still box currently?
Yeah, I train and everything. I just do it for fun. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm just thinking about some of the you know what you put in your films. You know, so immediately when I see stuff like that, you know, the choreography. I mean, do you create the choreography as well? Are you the mind behind that?
I'll have an idea of like I'll have my hand on like, you know, this is the ideally what I'm looking for. This is the, and I'll go to like some of my friends to like, you know, that that are well versed in, you know, in you know, the fight choreography world. And I was like, hey, like this is what I'm thinking, but I don't want to make it look crazy, you know, help out, you know what I mean? So, you know, and they'll put their input, and I'm like, okay, this makes sense. All right, this is what I ideally envisioned, which was, you know what I mean? So I do ask for, you know, advice and everything, but like, you know, sometimes I would think some of the choreography as well too.
Okay, that's man, good, really good creative mind on your part, and then also wisdom because you surround yourself with people that can help you to, you know, ultimately make what you see in your mind a reality. So. Now, which do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy the writing aspect more, the directing aspect more, or the acting?
I would say acting is my first love, but I do love directing.
Okay.
Directing, I do love directing a lot. It is super fun to kind of like, you know, that the fact that people are trusting you to be on your set and that you're going to bring vision to life. You know what I'm saying? And the way I break it down is like, you know, yes, the actor's going to bring everything to life. Like the talent's going to bring everything to life. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when there's a mastermind behind it, or like the captain of the football team or the quarterback of the field, you know what I'm saying? Everybody look at that, or the middle linebacker, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, those are the two biggest positions, you know what I'm saying? Acting world, you know what I'm saying? Everybody sees an actor, you know what I'm saying? They're the quarterback, they're the captain, all that stuff. But, you know, but people also, you know, don't give like the lineman the credit, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
The lineman never gets credit. So, you know, I feel like directing is like, you know, the lineman kind of like, you know, the reason why, you know, Tom Brady is like Tom Brady because the lineman, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like some actors that like, you know, I've worked with, the reason, I'm not saying that like I'm big up there, but the way they are now, you know what I'm saying? The way they are now is, you know, there's certain people behind the scenes that help to push that, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I feel like directors are like the linemen of the industry. You know what I mean? They don't get too much credit, but they're like, yeah, we see you. You know what I mean?
That's a good illustration. That's a really good illustration. Yeah. Who are 3 to 5 people? Give me 3 to 5 names of people that I would say your dream, or actually if it's more, give me your dream list of people you love to work with. Be it acting with them or directing. Give me your list. And
if, man, it's a list. Okay, come on, give it to me. Like, you know, one of the people I would love to work with, like side by side, probably one day. It's either like people like Leonardo or Jordan Peele, or like, you know, Jim Carrey. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like Jim Carrey directing, all that stuff. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, people such as like, you know, people I grew up watching, like Eddie. Like if I'm able to do that, it's legendary. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, there's like new faces that are popping. Yeah, like Jordan Peele. If I work with him, because the man's a genius. You know what I mean? Like directors like Ryan Coogler. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, that'd be crazy, because yeah, his mind's like ambitious. Quentin Tarantino, you know what I'm saying? Like his ideas is like are like, what, you're wild, but I love it. Michael Bay, like people make fun of him because of like the unnecessary explosions, but I love like unnecessary nuclear explosions for scenes. Like I love stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like people like Michael Bay is like I like stuff like that. And Edgar Wright did like the movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which was top tier, you know what I'm saying? Like I get inspired to watch it. I'm like, this is such a crazy movie, you know what I mean? But yeah, like names like that, I can't think of everybody, but like sure. Like there's a lot of people I would love to work with. I'm like, man, like it'd be crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. You know, the thing about it too, Irving, I mean, it's one of those things, man. Sometimes, you know, when I'm doing my thing, you know, provide for myself, whatever, I think about different things that I heard when I was coming up. You know, birds of a feather flock together. And, you know, as I got older, you know, the variation of that became, you are the sum total of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And just how the people, your circle, man, who you talk to, who you share with creatively. And you can't even share with everybody creatively, because some people will try to destroy your dreams because they don't have their own, or it's a lot of little layers to that. But I mean, looking at some of the people that are part of your circle in terms of that support you got King Vader, Sam Herring, Black, Tim Pullman. I can't pronounce his last name. Is it Tim?
Timothy. Yeah.
Yep. Nalita V, you know, Tonio Skits, Walter E. Jones, rich black guy. I mean, you know, you have these different people that are supporters of you and of what you do, man. And that is a significant portion of the battle in itself, because these people that follow and support you enjoy what it is that you do and believe in what it is that you do. And as you continue to elevate and you continue to create, that circle is going to continue to grow, brother. You know what I mean? So it's like, you do understand, I'm sure you do. It's far from an impossibility that you will work with some of, if not all of those people that you named off, and even the people that you did name off. You know that, right?
Right. No, I feel like it's close.
Very.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, I'm the type of person that's like, let me just, you know, stay nose to the ground and just, you know, keep focused what I going on. If it happens, you know, it'd be great, but you know, I'm not, you know, pressed about it either.
Sure. Yeah, but it's just, I mean, forgive me if I'm super enthused, but it's like, brother, the conversation we're having and you sharing what you're having, I mean, as a creator, man, I get a lot out of this. This is truly a blessing to me, because again, just like I asked you earlier, in terms of creatively, are you formally educated, or is it just the passion that you have that drives you to do it? And you said, man, you more or less, you're doing it off of love, man, and so am I. So for me to be able to have a conversation with you, I'm learning from observing and learning from what you're saying. Like, you know what, Kendrick, man, hey, Irving is doing it, man. He's doing it. You're doing it very similar to how Irving is doing it, and things are happening for him and will continue to happen for him. And if I keep pushing, the same will be true for me. So I thank you for that, brother. You know, for the encouragement that you're giving, just by living and doing what you love, man.
No, yeah, it's you know, one of my friends, what's good, always say, overnight success is literally 7 to 10 years, and like, I've been doing this for quite some time, you know, because there's going to be a time period that, yeah, you're going to get discouraged. You know, you was listening to a sermon earlier today. You know, people will deconstruct your faith. You know what I mean? Like people will, like, you know, kind of like will be like, yo, like, you know, are you sure that be realistic and all that stuff? It's, you're going to have outside forces that's going to try to like stop you what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? From like where I started to now, like there was a lot of outside forces, but I've been doing it for quite some time. I would say about good 8 to 9 years consistently. You know what I mean? Just now getting the recognition, just now getting the foot in the door with like, you know, big networks, you know what I'm saying? Being at least at the table with them to talk to them, you know, just to, not even for them to say yes, just to talk to them. You know, it takes a lot, you know what I mean? For sure. But again, you doing it, man. And you know, faith without works is dead. And it's a lot of people that have faith in something that really kind of has impacted me in very recent, maybe the past year and a half or so, that really kind of just punched me in the face. Again, it's just that verse in itself. Faith without works is dead. You got a lot of people that have faith, but they're not putting in the work, man. You know, and God bless them, God help them. But it's like, I mean, that work is a very serious part of it, because the work is what makes you, you know, like you said, the moments where you're discouraged and you work through it anyway. And like we talked about earlier, man, in terms of my circle, and I'm sure the same is true for you as well, your circle, man, you can't have nobody negative in your ear. It'll come from people you thought were your friends, and it'll come from family, you know, and right. You got to be so careful, you know, who's to say if you didn't keep a good circle, okay, and you had a moment of discouragement and you happen to share that discouragement with somebody that wasn't a good part of the circle, they could very well discourage you more or talk you out of it. You know what I mean? So no, there's times, there's times that, like, you know, I think there's like 1 or 2 times I've ran into that, of like people will be like, well, you know, well, think of a plan B and plan C. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah. I'm like, I only got a plan and that's it. You know what I mean? So, you will run into that. And then, like, one of the main things I tell people, like, don't surround yourself with yes men. Like, I hate yes men. Like, you know, People are like have constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you're gonna have to have thick skin in this industry, because there's times I get dragged on the internet for one of my videos. I'm like, bro, all right. Right. So you just gotta have thick skin at that point. You know what I mean? And then like even criticism, you just gotta have very thick skin, because at the end of the day, you're creating it for yourself. End of the day, people are like, oh, this sucks. I'm like, well, okay, well, you created it, and we'll see.
Right. Yeah, you shut them right down. You tell them that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. There's people that are like, they'll kind of discourage you and all that stuff. But like at the same time, those people that discourages you sometimes are the one that are not really doing anything. You know what I mean?
Irving, I feel like that's the case more times than not, because it's like, just like you said earlier, somebody will try to say something, might say something about a film or something that you post, and you shut it down easily if you think about it, and that is, yeah, you do it then. You do what I do, and see if you can do it better, and a lot of people cannot. They're not even trying, man. And it's one of those things, if we look into the psychological aspect of it, man, people will perpetuate their lack of happiness or their lack of drive or enthusiasm onto you, because they see who Irving think he is, so they have something to say, you know what I mean? So what, in terms of when you get discouraged or when you think, man, should I be doing this? What encourages you? What makes you snap back?
Honestly, sometimes when I get discouraged, I kind of like, my older brother told me one time, like, if you ever get discouraged, kind of like pause for a minute and, rethink why you're doing it. Like, remember why you even started all this. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, I'll just, watch anime, and I kind of like, and I guess like I've developed such a thick skin because like I've dealt with it as an early age of people like discouraging me as a child. So, and then it came to the point that like, I think it was like middle school. I'm just like, honestly, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a good place to be.
Yeah, I'm like as middle school, I'm like, I don't care. Like, people roasted me for liking anime, the manga, all the 9 yards. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about all that, right? But when it comes to like getting discouraged with other people, I usually tell people like, it's one of those things. It's like the moment I sense it, like it's 1 year out. Like I'm like, okay, right, all right, cool. I'm not gonna bash them or anything. It's just their mindset. Okay, cool. That's where you're at. So I just kind of like, I just keep it pushing. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. 100%. You think that being that you've had the exposure to manga that you have in anime, would you ever like to contribute to the creation of an anime or a manga?
I would like to do a live action anime. Like if somebody were to like give me their IP and trust me to create a live action anime to their IP, or a Japanese, it was like, okay, we're gonna trust you to bring something to life. If it's not even not anime, like probably a video game. Like if they could bring in something that like if I could bring something to life that like a childhood like cartoon, manga or anime or video game, 100%, like I'll make sure I put my foot into it and at least catered to like the whole community that loves that specific subject, you know what I mean, or that specific IP, you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me about Zoro versus Tanjiro.
Zoro versus Tanjiro. So what's crazy, it was actually it's a brand deal.
Okay.
So I actually got reached out to Minute Katanas, and Minute Katanas and I had a conversation, you know what I'm saying, and they saw a video of mine at like I posted like 2 or 3 years ago, and they're like, yo, we like some of your stuff, this and the third. like we would like for y'all to like create something like that, for our page. I'm like, all right, cool.
Wow.
So, we came in an agreement on a couple things, behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I started creating, I already filmed a One Piece film.
Sure.
And then, I hit my boy Sam up. I'm like, yo, they want me to do a Tanjiro versus Zoro, what you trying to do? He's like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? Keep in mind, I've never fought with swords in my entire life. You know what I mean? So he taught me a couple things. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. Let's get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we ended up, filming it. Obviously, the power scaling with Tanjiro and Zoro is unfair. So I had to like really think like, how can I make this make sense? Because the scaling is like 1,000,000 to 1. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because Tanjiro is a pretty powerful character, but Zoro is like a whole different like level. Like literally just Zoro could literally like with his least powerful sword, he could literally lob your head off like from a distance. You know what I mean?
Right.
So so I made it like into a training session, like, Zoro is training Tanjiro to become a better swordsman.
Okay. Nice.
I had to make that into a story, and then
pretty good, yeah.
When I ended up posting it, then the whole community was just like, wait, you know what I'm saying? Like the VFX, all that stuff. Like obviously, I had to get my references from certain scenes. You know what I mean? And the whole community lost their mind when they saw Tanjiro versus Zoro, and people are like, yo, you need to make more of this. I'm like, bro, I've been doing this. Like,
right.
but it's all good. So like, there's a possibility like we're, Minix like, they were definitely blown away of like, when I first showed them the rough draft, they're just like, yeah, we did not expect this. You know what I'm saying? They did not expect what I was going to give them. They expect, like, they did have high hopes of like, okay, he's going to put his foot into it. They didn't realize what I was going to give them. And they're like, okay, all right. All right. We see you, you know what I'm saying? We see what you're about to do.
Right.
So yeah, the behind the scenes was pretty cool. All that stuff, like, shout out to everybody else behind the scenes for that, you know what I mean? That make it into life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. How did you get connected, for the Netflix Dreams?
So Netflix Dreams, what's crazy is one of my team members, got reached out by Netflix, and they're like, they like, Netflix has been eyeing us like for our group for quite some time.
Nice.
And they're like, hey, we're about to drop a show called Umbrella Academy. Like, what can you guys do like with that IP? So they want us to do like a whole side story for their Netflix YouTube. So we did our own side story called the Raincoat Academy.
Sure.
And that blew the doors off the hinge and everything. People, like, it was just pretty crazy. So the internal wise, like, I wasn't directly connected. They're aware who I am. It was just one of my other team members is directly connected with them, and they start, kind of like, all right, let's do this, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Using their IPs and everything. So I feel like just doing that is going to probably lead into, like, right now we haven't done a 5th episode of Netflix Dreams, but I feel like something big is going to happen, like, because they see what we can do, you know what I'm saying, with their IP and make a side story. I feel like that's going to be coming for sure. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sounds like a plan. With all that you've done and been a part of so far, what would you say is, number one, the thing that you're the most proudest of? And what is the thing, and it may be one and the same, also, what is the thing that you've had the most fun doing?
The most proudest, man. I think it's like every project I drop, I kind of look back on the older projects. Mm-hmm. It's just like, okay, good. It is better than that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Sure. There's one time I think I went to DreamCon. It was in Dallas, Texas. My first year. I did a premiere. One, I had zero idea of, I had a fan base because I don't really pay attention like that. Okay. So I didn't realize I had like a fan base or support system like that. So I did a film of a Powerpuff fan film, showed it, and people lost their mind, and it was a whole standing ovation. And I paused for a minute. I'm like, what did I just do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I did not understand like what I did. You know what I'm saying? And people were just losing their mind, like, chanting Irving, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. But and then I'm the type of person, I'm still teaching myself, I don't live in the moment. I'm like, how am I going to do part 2? Like, my mind, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm still teaching myself that, like, I need to live in the moment time to time, but I don't live in the moment. I'm just like, how am I going to do next? I'm already on things, you know what I'm saying? Mentally, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, I would say my proudest moments is like, just like each project I post. Like, I couldn't say a specific, but each project I post is it's better than the last. You know what I'm saying? I would say I'm usually proud about that. You know what I'm saying? Though I guess the most fun project is most of these projects because I think there's probably 4 projects. Most of my projects are fun. Everybody that's been on my set, everybody could tell you, hey, his projects are super dope to be on. But I say my top fun projects I've done. One of them it's the Powerpuff Girls, because I've done a lot of Powerpuff Girls, and everybody's just like, everybody want to be involved. I did a short film based off of a video game called Army of Two.
Really? Mm-hmm. Where is this at, Irving? Where is that post?
I posted it during the pandemic. Like, I filmed it in the hottest times of the pandemic. Like,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was supposed to film it. You know what I'm saying? but it was pretty cool. That was a fun project, and then like it kind of like inspired a lot of people. I guess I didn't realize it, but like it inspired a lot of people to kind of like, okay, if you could do this with literally little resources, like, I need to get on my game. You know what I mean? So that inspired a lot. Like, I had a lot of phone calls from people from after that shoot. Mm-hmm. What's the other fun project? Oh, I did a Doritos spec commercial. So I did a Doritos spec commercial last year. Okay. Which this kind of like opened up doors for a lot of things. I think this was kind of like a pinnacle and all that stuff for like, like a pivot point in my career that I didn't realize. But I did a Doritos spec commercial. I did it if Moses was an anime character. So I like, pretty much reference Demon Slayer, reference the Bible, and then, do his move water split. And I hit the ground and the water started splitting, and, the music dropped. Everybody was losing their mind, right? That was a very fun project to do. Doritos saw that and they were hyped. They're like, this is cool. Somebody kind of broke reality to me. They're like, I don't think they will buy that or sponsor that because, you said a Bible verse, correlating to like religion. So because it's like, obviously it's not quote unquote appropriate for the brand. I'm like, I get it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just want to show people like, hey, this is what I could do.
Right.
I think like a couple days later, I got reached out to by Kel Mitchell. Kel Mitchell from Nickelodeon, All That Good Burger. He's been on a lot of various different movies.
Oh, for sure.
And obviously that's a childhood legend. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
He reached out to me. It's like, he was like, yo, I saw your 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 Doritos commercial. I would like for you to do that to my Bless Mode book trailer. No, so keep in mind, I was at a 90%. I was going to say no because there's a lot going on. Now, not that I had an issue with it. It was just a lot going on. A lot going on. It was like I had I had 2 more commercials for a brand I had to do. We had Netflix Dreams episode 4 literally around the corner. There was so much that was happening.
Right.
And I was just like, so I had to call a couple of people like, what should I do? And it's not that it was like doing it. It was more the turnaround time was pretty tight as well too.
Yes.
And, I was just like, all right, everybody's like, you don't know what this is going to open up. I'm like, you're right. You know what I'm saying? They're like, it's not every day you get reached out to somebody like that. But no, you're right. I'm like, all right. As soon as I said yes, I already knew it was go time. As soon as I filmed it, all that stuff, everybody's just like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, his team was just like, yeah, this is beyond insane, da da da. You know what I'm saying? So it started opening up a lot more doors, and now like some brands will like reach out and everything. But I think it was like that moment, like was like kind of a pivot, and a shift to my career and everything. So I would say that's one of the fun projects that I did is his trailer, and a lot of the Netflix Dream stuff is usually fun to film.
Okay. Now with the Army of Too Short and with the Doritos commercial, how did I miss those? Where can I find those?
They're all on my YouTube. Look,
nice. Good deal.
I'm not one of those people that like are big, but it's one of the things is like, they're out there for sure. It's on my YouTube. Okay. Obviously you're gonna see. I think I have like about over 170 videos.
Okay.
That's on like on my YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check both of those out for sure, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
What advice or encouragement would you give to somebody that's facing a tough time?
It depends. It depends what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? If they're going through a tough time, I usually tell people like it's okay to take a pause. Like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because like people like the internet kind of like instill like you got to be on it every day. You got to be on it. It's okay to take a pause because the internet is not going anywhere. Don't get me wrong. Yes, the internet is evolving literally every second, but you're not going to catch every second. So it's okay to take a pause, reflect. You know what I'm saying? Like, take breaks. You know what I'm saying? Not a long break, but just take breaks. You know what I'm saying? What do you need to like kind of like reevaluate? Like what you need to reconstruct? What you gotta what you gotta fix on? You know what I mean? People will get discouraged of like seeing low numbers on their page. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest things I tell people, don't even pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, are you doing it for the numbers or are you doing it for yourself? You know what I mean? So, because if you're doing it for the numbers, you're not going to grow. If you're doing it for the numbers and money, I don't see you really growing. Now, yes, numbers is very, very essential. Money is very essential, especially at these times. But, I tell people, I'm like, if you're doing it for the art, literally all that will come. You know what I'm saying? They don't even pay attention to that. But yeah, no, I usually tell people like, it's okay to take a pause when it comes to like going through a hard time and everything. And kind of like, just kind of like rethink some things and then like, do a different plan of attack. And then if it doesn't work, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, end of the day, you tried it, you know what I'm saying? Versus, I could have done it, this, that, and the third, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, definitely. What is a word of encouragement or advice that you wish someone had told you when you were facing a tough time?
And it's crazy because I guess not a lot of people have been like in my shoes because I got exposed to a lot of things as a child. Okay. You know what I mean? So like I already like kind of like had an idea But I think like one thing I would say is just you'll be okay. You'll be okay. One of the biggest things is like if like your time like your time will come. You know what I'm saying? Because there's times I'm asking people like how do they get this that and I'm worried about that. And I'm like, yo, end of the day, they're doing it for themselves. One of the things I tell people, don't compare your measuring up to other people.
Right.
And I, as a kid, I would compare like, well, I've been working, this, that, and the third, and this person literally just popped in the picture and they blow up. You know what I'm saying? But a little that people know is like the same person was working just as hard as you. Right. You know what I'm saying? They just had that thing in a bottle. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like measuring, like we both have cups, we both have water, but don't compare. You're gonna be worried about like try to measure the same amount of volume of water versus, you know, trying to focus on your cup, making sure it's clean, you know what I'm saying? So I would tell people like don't literally compare yourself to other people because you will be discouraged no matter what.
Absolutely. All day, man. True. Well, I tell you what, good brother, I appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation with me, Irving. I'm gonna search out the Doritos and the Army of Two. I was a fan of Army of Two, so I'm eager to see both of these videos that you did, man, as well as just keep a eye on the greatness that you continue to create.
These are old projects. Look, okay. Well, the way I put look. What's crazy is I've yet to look at my old projects. I don't look at my old projects until I just don't. I look because I'm my harshest critic. You know what I mean? But you know, I like the Army of Two. I'm like, I could do better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting you know, like I could do better. Doritos, fun project, but keep in mind they're my old projects. So I'm like,
listen, but here's the thing. Your oldest projects are better than the nothing that a lot of people have put out, just in itself. And that's the name of the game, brother. We grow. We got to start somewhere. And if we keep going, we're going to eventually, like you said, you're going to eventually get to where it is that you're trying to get to if you keep putting in that work and not give up, you know? So that is good stuff, brother. Yeah, but I mean, man, thank you again, Irvin. I know you're a busy individual, man. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time to have a conversation with me, and also with the encouragement that you gave me, also just in doing what you do.
No problem.
Yeah, man. Keep shining, man, and I'm looking forward to more greatness out of you.
For sure, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You enjoy your day, brother.
All right, you too.
Thank you.